YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I have another pickups video for you here. Now, there's some stuff here that's not really like overly valuable or anything like that, but I got things for a pretty good deal today because of a lot of sales that were going on. And I also decided to show you these things because in the past I've had a problem where I've got a few things, like 4 or 5 things, and I was like, well, it's not really enough to make a video. Then I end up holding on to it. I get some more stuff in, and the next thing you know, I've got like a 20-minute video showing off of stuff that I've picked up recently. And I know for a lot of people that's a bit daunting. They don't want to spend 20 minutes watching a pickup video. So I've decided to show you the few things that I found today, and I'll start with this right here. It's a Modern Warfare 3 Brady Games guide. Pretty cool. Like all color. It's in impeccable shape. Like, it's really awesome. And this was half price today at the Goodwill because everything was 50% off. So for this I paid $1.75. Definitely worth it. Moving on from there, I also found in the electronics section, and again this was 50% off as well, I found an Atomic Red N64 controller, which is in really great shape, which I kind of like too. This is the first red controller for N64 that I've found, other than I've found like the solid red one before, which wasn't in nearly as good a shape as this one is in. It's dirty definitely, but the joystick is excellent on it and all the buttons feel responsive. It also came with a memory card in it, but it's just a third-party one. It's not a Nintendo one or anything like that. Not a big deal though. I have a number of those different cards now, so I'll probably end up like selling this one off or whatever, bundling it with a system kind of thing. That's kind of cool. But the controller itself, I'm sort of on the fence about whether or not I want to keep this one for my collection or not. We'll have to see. I'm trying to decide if I want all the same color of N64 controllers, basically to get 4 of the same color or whatever. But for now, this will probably stay with me, and I'll hold on to it for a bit just because it is in such great shape. For this one here, it was marked for $5, and I paid $2.50 for it. So $2.50 for this controller, which I've never seen this color, like I said before, in the wild. So that's pretty awesome right there. Moving on, I picked up a couple more Genesis titles. Now, if you watched my pickup video from yesterday at the Goodwill, this is the other Goodwill now. At the other Goodwill, I picked up a couple of Genesis titles. They wanted $3 each for them yesterday, so I kind of didn't end up buying a couple of titles. I left 2 of them behind. Lo and behold, they were still there the next day, but now it was 50% off. Unfortunately, these were not marked for $4 on them or $3 on them or whatever, so they decided to charge me $4 for each of them and then half price that, so it was $2.02 for each of these games. But still, $2 for this is perfectly fine. The first one here I picked up was PGA Tour Golf 2, and I can't recall if I had this in my collection. I do know that I have a number of golf games, so there it is right there. I think I might have this loose or something. I'm not really that concerned with it. The main thing is, if I ever need a case, I'll probably end up pilfering this one and maybe selling off the artwork in the game or whatever and using the case for this. That's really what I'm looking for, is the clamshell. So for $2.02 I thought I would at least pick this up. It was still sitting there from yesterday. This one here is going to go in my collection. It's not really a must-have or anything like that, but it's Jeopardy Sports Edition. So it's really great shape, which is the reason why I decided to pick this one up. It's also complete, which I think most of those games yesterday were not. I think all of them were not complete. This is the only one that is complete. So it has this manual in it, and the manual is in great shape. The cartridge is in great shape. So $2.02, definitely worth picking this one up as well. That being said, there wasn't a whole lot else there. I mean, even for half price, they had a stack of original Xbox games there. They were pretty scratched up, beat up, things like that. So I wasn't really interested in nothing really of particular value in that stack, so I kind of left all that alone. But I went over to a Value Village from there, and I came across this right here, which is an N64 system. Really nice to pick these up. This is probably one of the items that I have the easiest time selling. It's not exactly my favorite console of all time, but for some reason this holds a lot of value for a lot of people out there. I know it's a great console, don't get me wrong, but to me, you know, it just seems strange that this is one of the ones that you can sell the most of, essentially. So every single one of these that I ever get, I'm able to sell very quickly. So I decided to pick this guy up here. Interestingly enough, it obviously came with its power supply here, and I have tested this out, so it does work and all that kind of good stuff. But it also came with something I've never seen before, and that is a RF kind of adapter here. So, you know, it has the N64 or whatever kind of lead into it, and then it has the channel 3-4 selector. Now, I'm never going to use this, but I just think it's cool nonetheless to get that. Also plugged into that was a Nintendo RF switch for, you know, an original Nintendo, which again is something I'll never use, but because it was thrown in for the price and everything, I wasn't going to turn that down. Still, that's pretty cool. I'd never seen one of these before. Obviously, I'm going to use like the component cables or composite cables or whatever you like to call it, instead of this like RF type of connector, but still pretty cool. I'll probably just end up selling that off with a system though, but I'd never seen one before, so I thought it was kind of interesting. And then this here, just so you know, does not have the expansion pack in, it's just the regular jumper pack that's in there. But that's okay, because for that one there I paid 15 bucks. At that Value Village they also had a pink DS Lite for 20, and I took a look at it and I was considering it, but the screens were too scratched up for me, so I left it behind for somebody else. Other than that, they have a whole bunch of Genesis titles and stuff like that are loose, and unfortunately the titles aren't really that great or anything like that. But what they're asking for is 10 bucks each on them, which I think is absolutely just completely out to lunch. So I didn't bother with any of that stuff either, but I did find this system for 15 and I'm pretty happy with that. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I will see you all later.